For what feels like forever, one single organization has pretty much held the keys to the kingdom of American real estate. Well, that's changing right now. We're talking about a massive power shift that is totally rewriting the rules for hundreds of thousands of agents and brokers. So, what does this all mean for the future of the industry? Let's get into it.
It really all boils down to this one simple question. Do you actually have to be a realtor to sell a house? For decades, for most agents, the answer was a hard yes. Being a realtor wasn't just a title you put on your business card. It was like the secret handshake. It was the only way you could get the tools you needed to actually do your job. But that handshake, it's not required anymore, and the walls are coming down.
So, what was the big catalyst for this sudden change? Well, it was a single decision that sent a shockwave through the entire real estate industry.
Here's the deal. In late 2025, the National Association of Realtors, you know them as an R, voted to repeal something called MLS Policy 7.7. Now, this policy was the very glue that held everything together. It's what mandated you had to be a member of their association to get access to the multiple listing service, the MLS. And with that rule gone, that national mandate is officially history.
And this right here is the absolute key distinction you have to understand. The MLS is the database. It's the essential tool you need to list and find homes. A realtor is a member of a trade group. For years, you couldn't get the tool without the membership, and that is the very link that is now being broken or decoupled.
Now, here's the thing. While this national rule change feels like this huge, sudden earthquake, the idea of separating the tool from the title, it isn't new at all. In fact, some of the biggest, most influential markets in the whole country have been doing it this way for decades.
Yeah, this whole idea of decoupling MLS access from being a realtor has been the reality in some major markets for a long, long time. So you could honestly argue that NAR's big national policy change isn't leading the charge. It's just playing catch-up to a trend that was already well underway. This timeline really tells the story of the pioneers here. I mean, look at this. It started way back in the 1980s when a court case in California first cracked the door open for non-realtors to get MLS access. Then, about a decade later, in the mid-90s, the Arizona Regional MLS followed suit and created their own MLS-only option. Then, in 2005, you have the Houston Association of Realtors joining in. These weren't just small experiments, you guys. These were industry leaders paving a whole different path. And if you want to see just how established this model is, just listen to the CEO of the California Regional MLS, Art Carter. For them, this huge national shift that's shaking up the industry, it's just another Tuesday. It's business as usual. Okay, so if this has been working in these major markets for so long, what's the big deal now? Why are we all of a sudden seeing this wave of other MLSs rushing to make the same change?
The main reason for this recent wave of change was a growing frustration among brokerage owners, a deep frustration with how the National Association of Realtors was handling those massive commission lawsuits that have just rocked the entire industry. Michael Barbaro, the president of Smart MLS in Connecticut, really put a voice to this exact feeling. I mean, that is a powerful statement. When your own members are disgusted and they want out, but they can't leave without losing their entire business, the pressure to create a new option becomes absolutely immense. And that pressure, well, it created a domino effect, with a whole new wave of MLSs deciding to open their doors. So on top of Connecticut Smart MLS, we're now seeing Dorify MLS and Canopy MLS down in the Carolinas joining the ranks. This isn't just a few pioneers anymore. It's a clear and accelerating trend. So, with this MLS-only path now opening up all across the country, let's talk about what this actually means in practice. What does it really look like for an agent who's thinking about taking this new route?
But it's definitely not a simple switch. There are some very real trade-offs you've got to consider. What exactly do you gain? And maybe more importantly, what do you give up if you choose MLS access without realtor membership? Let's use this table from Bright MLS, which is the nation's largest, as a great case study. First off, let's look at the cost. An MLS-only subscriber is paying $174 a quarter, compared to just $120 for a realtor member. But honestly, the biggest trade-off might be right here, under access to forms. As a realtor member, you get included access to state-approved, legally vetted transaction forms, which is a critical part of your daily workflow. For an MLS-only subscriber, that access is not guaranteed. And of course, all the other NAR member benefits are gone too. So it's a choice with some pretty significant financial and logistical consequences. So, where is all of this heading? What does the future of the real estate industry even look like as this decoupling really picks up speed? What are the bigger implications here? Well, according to the CEO of ARMLS in Arizona, and remember, they've offered this choice for almost 3 decades, the number of agents choosing the MLS-only path is not yet materially significant. But here's the key part. He says that number is growing. And that tells us we are at the beginning of a shift, not the end. And that brings us to a final, pretty powerful thought from that same CEO, Matthew Consalvo, on the future of the industry. Maybe it's time. It's a simple phrase, but it's a profound challenge that's just hanging over the entire industry right now. As agents and brokers finally have a real choice for the first time in generations, the big question is no longer if more MLSs will open up, but how fast and what the industry is going to look like when they do.